What's going on, guys? It is Kazra back with another video, and this video being the 7 things I love about my Grand Prix. Now I know you guys saw the other video of the 7 things I hate about my Grand Prix, and I couldn't really figure out a list right away because I absolutely love this car, so it was hard for me to figure it out. But now we're on the 7 things I love about the Grand Prix, so without further ado, let's get started. I want to make this video a bit like in an order from the number 7 to number 1. So number 1 thing I like about my car, all the way to the most least thing, not the least thing I like about it, but like what's less important to me to what's more important to me about this car. So number 7 is the heads-up display. Now when this car came out in 1997, they had the heads-up display option. I think it was 97 or it might have been 99, but I think it was 97 that they put that option right away. When I say it to people nowadays that this car has a heads-up display system, they don't believe it because this car is about 15 years old and they couldn't believe they still had the technology back then. And this was the American luxury back then. So definitely number 7 is definitely the heads-up display. This car's heads-up display is absolutely amazing. I read off it a lot of times because sometimes I just want to get an exact number or I'm on cruise control. And because I live in Canada, my speedo is in kilometers, but I put it on miles on the heads-up display so that I can read it off miles per hour because I actually like that more. So that's a pretty cool thing that the Grand Prix have nowadays. So moving on to number 6. Now number 6 is the styling of the car, exterior wise. I absolutely love the styling of the Grand Prix. It has that sleek sleeper with the nice curves. It looks like a sleeper, but it has that aggressiveness to it at the same time. Especially the supercharged versions of this car, which I have, it's people don't know what's under the hood unless they look at the badges on the side, and in my case I have the supercharged banner in the back. But it has the nice curves. Every time I look at the car, especially I like that bubbly like tail lights that they have. The Grand AMs looked a lot uglier with those, but I think they've really knocked it off with the Grand Prix. It has, especially mine having the hood scoops, the spoiler, and the quad exhaust tips. It definitely makes it have a more sleek look to it. It makes it have this more, kind of don't fuck with me, kind of look to it, and I really enjoy that from this car. So that's number 6. Is definitely the styling of this car. The styling is what really gets me attracted to it. It has a very simple yet aggressive yet sleeper-like styling. Now moving on to number 5. Now number 5 is the sound system. I have the GTP, and I don't know if it was the same with the GTs. I think there was an optional extra for them, but I think they came standard with the GTP, especially the special edition. It's the Bose sound system. Now this Bose sound system is, I think, 6 speakers and 1 subwoofer. And I have a custom auxiliary jack, so I play my own music with it. And let me tell you, it plays the music very well. It has the bass you want when you want to really get the bass out on a song that has an amazing beat drop, or you want a song with like nice lyrics, like a rap song or something. This will play anything because it has the treble, it has the bass, it has everything. So that's one thing I really like about this car, is definitely the sound system. Now that I have the muffler delete, it's kind of hard to hear my own music, but yet again, I love it. I love the sound system on this car. People can hear it from the outside for sure. When you blast it, it definitely has a nice, no muffled sound, no static. It definitely sounds really nice, and I enjoy it. That's definitely my number 5 thing I like about this car. Moving on to number 4. Now, number 4 is one thing General Motors made simple, and that's push rod motors. I always wanted to change the modified ratio rockers on this car, because the car's came with a stock 160 ratio rocker. I'm going to push this one up to 190. They made push rod motors, which actually relates to my number 3 thing, but push rod motors definitely one thing that GM made good with this car. It makes it easy to modify, it makes it easy to boost, especially with the supercharger, and I really enjoy it. So that's number 4. Moving on to number 3. Guy in a Dodge Avenger was trying to challenge me. He has the stock 4-cylinder engine, so it's kind of obvious who would win. What? a 3.8. It definitely hauls. This one, but that one in V6 definitely. I like the stripes though. The stripes look sick. Hey man, have a nice night. You make friends every day. Now moving on to number 3, which is kind of related to number 4 of my car, is this car came supercharged. And that's actually one of the reasons I bought it, because it's exponentially easy to modify. I spent less than $300 on a downpipe, a PCM, a holder, and a custom fender well intake, and spark plugs and the thermostat, all for less than $300. And this car went from running 14.7 in the quarter mile to running 14.2, so over half a second better. And for less than $300, I think that's absolutely amazing. And yet again, the servicing this car is, honestly, I've never had a car that would be cheaper to service. You know, I did my tranny cooler lines, my fuel line, all of them were less than $200. It was absolutely amazing. And for future modifications, which are my headers, and dropping the supercharger pulley, which will probably get me into the 13-second quarter miles, this car definitely has the potential to be a faster car for a budget person. And I absolutely love that, because this car also puts that in the sleeper form. It's so easy to modify and so cheap to modify. So for people on a budget, this is definitely going to be the car for you, or a Regal or a Monte Carlo, any style you prefer. This is definitely the car for you. For a budget kid trying to make his car faster, I recommend one of these or one of their brothers or sisters. Now, number 2 is kind of related. Like number 4, 3, and 2 are really related to each other. I kind of split them up so I can say them specifically. Number 2 being the service is really affordable. As I was saying from number 3, the service for this car, like an oil change for me, will cost less than $50. I know a daily any car would cost that much. But if something broke on this car, like right now my oil pan gasket's leaking, my transmission pan gasket's leaking, it's not the fact of buying something OEM. It's not the fact of buying something that's off the market. It's about buying something. You can find these at a junkyard. You can find these anywhere you want. You know, I can go to a local junkyard, local scrapyard, and buy even a motor with low miles on it for this car. So they're easy to service. They're easy to keep up with on maintenance. But if you don't keep up with them, it's just going to be a problem. One small problem becoming a bigger problem. So that's why I recommend keep your service up to date, and trust me, service is cheap on these cars, and just make sure to keep it up to date. Moving on to number 1. Now this is the one thing I bought this car for, and that's power. This car is unbelievable. It is unbelievable in power. It's not the best car in top end. It's not the best car after maybe 80 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. It's not the best car. It can't really get up to a top end speed really quick, especially stock, with the stock tune and the stock exhaust systems and everything. These cars can definitely not get to their top speed really easily. But open them up a bit with the headers or intake or tune, and these cars will really open up. But it's the low end power I love about these cars. I took an 03 or 04 E55 AMG off the line. I took him all the way to about 80 miles an hour. He started catching up really slowly, but by that time the race is over. But what I'm trying to say is that when I'm on the track and I'm really close with someone from off the line, from that 60 foot, that 8 mile, I'm just neck and neck with them. It's the top end that really ruins you. It's once that car goes into this long gear, second gear, that's that other car, depending on what it is. Like I versed a Gen Coupe, a 3.8 stick shift, and I took him off the line every single time, but around 80 miles an hour he just passed me. So these cars definitely lack top end a lot, but it's the torque. Like when I take off from a dead stop, the torque on this car is just unbelievable. It can really surprise a lot of people with all-wheel drive in their vehicles, you know, like a 328 Xi, a C350 4MATIC, a C300 4MATIC, E350 4MATIC, which both C350 and C300 have both beaten on the streets before. So it's definitely, this car's a definite, as you would put it as a term, sleeper. It's a definite sleeper because people don't expect it to have that low end power. They think it's a heavy car, it's sluggish, it won't get up to speed properly. So they think, oh, I'm gonna smoke this guy because I have a fast ass Mercedes or a fast ass Audi or a fast BMW. I have like a GTI. This guy won't stand a chance against me. But when they actually get a chance to run with you, the outcome was usually always the same. Just their faces turning silent. You know, it's just they get so cocky about their cars, and then they verse something like this. They say, oh, it's a Pontiac, a piece of shit. And then they certainly see what it can do when they actually get a chance to go with you. And that's definitely the number one thing I like about this car is the power. Like, I'm on the Young Street right now. Let me see if there's any cops around. I'll give it a gun. Like, watch. That's what I mean. It has the power. You see, it has that low end just pushed to your limit, and it'll tuck you in your seat. It honestly, like, every time I go in this car, I love it. You know, it gives me that goosebump, that tingly feeling through my body. So, yeah, guys, that's definitely the number one thing I like about this car, which is the power. Thank you so much for watching my video. This was the 7 things I love about my Grand Prix. I will be making update videos on my car, so you guys know what's going on with it. Right now, has a couple broken parts here and there I'm gonna need to fix, but it definitely has still the potential of being a fast car. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video was a lot easier for me to make than the other one. So stay tuned, guys. I will be posting videos once or twice every week for you guys to stay updated with this car and other things going on in my life. I might even start doing vlogs soon with my car on a day-to-day basis. What goes on. We do close calls, like who knows, like I have a close call with almost having an accident with someone, or a cop pulls me over just to check. Like, I don't know. I'm going to be doing something, but I'm going to have ideas every single day to do more things along with this car, along with my daily life. So guys, stay tuned. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Super Kazra signing out.